I've got some more bad news, folks. It's just going to be bad news today. Sorry. Before Trump even enters office, we're getting it. We're getting the challenge. We're getting the challenge to gay marriage. A House committee in the Idaho state legislature is considering, and it's likely, drafting a formal statement asking the Supreme Court to end same-sex marriage nationwide and allow the state to restore its ban on such unions. I'm not going to make any cases on the procedural grounds of this, but like, here we go. Here's one stop of 50 or 100. I guess they'll do it as many times as they need to. Isn't this against the Respect for Marriage Act? The Supreme Court can do whatever it wants. Yes, the Supreme Court would need to rule against Obergefell and also declare the unconstitutionality of the Respect for Marriage Act. I don't think this will pass the first time. The first time, probably not. It's worth noting it's very unlikely that they are going to pass a nationwide ban on gay marriage. For one, and pardon me for being a little optimistic, they could pass a nationwide ban on gay marriage. A bunch of blue states would just keep doing them. Like, the gay marriage is so accepted in Washington, California, DC, most of the Northeast. Like, there are parts, the blue parts of the country have accepted it to a point where they would just like de facto carry it on anyway. They would have to challenge it in court a million times over. They'd be accepting, like, maybe the IRS wouldn't be accepting gay marriages for like their tax filings or whatever, but the states would just have like, exemptions. Basically what I'm saying is I don't expect it to get banned in blue states. That being said, they might toss this one back to the states, and the red states would probably make their choice. I mean, it's like what happened with abortion, right? Like, abortion is now just illegal in a lot of the United States. Just went to the red states. The Respect for Marriage Act doesn't require states to do gay marriages. It just requires states to recognize marriages from states that do. Yeah, I wonder if I feel like they'd have to overturn that, because if they're going far enough as to overturn Obergefell, I feel like they would have to, like, I don't think they would accept, like, Texas or Arkansas or whatever or Oklahoma, abiding by gay marriages officiated in blue states. I feel like they would go after that the same way like Texas cracked down on women in Texas going to other states to get an abortion. You know what I mean? If I'm effectively married to someone after living with them for 7 years in Tennessee, what's the difference? A sick tax break if you get married. Trust me, if you can get for purely for like financial reasons, there are benefits to getting married, okay? I'm not trying to reinforce, this is the hegemony of marriage as a, institution. I'm just saying, like, you can get some sweet benefits. How does this benefit conservatives? They hate you and they hate you. So if you're upset, they're happy. The 2015 Obergefell was a landmark decision. The Supreme Court's decision came by a 5-4 vote, and 3 new conservative justices were appointed by Donald Trump during the first term, shifting the court to the right. Yep. Like, Obergefell passed by 5-4. I really don't think it would survive reevaluation if they went for it. It would just be a matter of providing a challenge to Obergefell that was considered like acceptable on procedural grounds, and I don't think that's a very like high bar to clear for this court. Unironically, do I just lay low until I graduate, trying to move to San Diego from Idaho? Idaho's constitutional ban on same-sex marriage is still on the books, approved by voters in 2006 with 63% support. Nearly half of Idahoans who participated in a fall 2022 public opinion poll conducted by the Statesman and Survey USA said they believe couples of the same gender should legally be allowed to marry. Of the 550 respondents from across the state, 37% said it should be unlawful, and 14% said they weren't sure. It is a testament to how effective the normalization of gay marriage has been, that even in Idaho, shit-ass Idaho, only a third of respondents said they think same-sex marriage should be unlawful. Though I imagine those numbers are worse today because people have been pushed to the right since 2022. While I, for one, trust Republicans to defer to majority opinion. That's true. They did defer to majority opinion on Roe v. Wade, after all. Most conservatives I've seen literally do not believe Republicans would ban gay marriage. They think we're crazy and paranoid. Yeah, but they also thought that about, like, Roe v. Wade. You know what I mean? It just kind of reminds me of how a lot of, like, German Nazi supporters back in the early 30s were like, yeah, okay, they're anti-Semitic, so am I. I shouldn't say that because that's clippable. I'm talking for them. But they're like, they like denied the existence of the death camps all the way up till the end. You know what I mean? Or pretended to. The leopards won't eat my face. It's not even their face, or I guess it's like the face of their close relatives or something. It is going to be really cool seeing people do the Dave Rubin bit even after they re-ban gay marriage, you know? Like there are going to be gay conservatives being like, I used to be a liberal until I realized how crazy the Democrats had gotten. And the only position the Democrats are advocating for on a national level is increasing border security. Yeah, I should have used a silly voice, like a German accent. Milo Yiannopoulos type people. Well, Milo pretends to not be gay anymore. How can he even keep his career after that happens? What a shameless pick. I mean, who cares? No one cares. No one cares. Again, like, all of the right-wing pundits are grifters. They all know they're lying. There's no, like, it's just a matter of what they think they can get away with in public, you know? Are you aware of the Musk interview of the German right-wing leader? No. Elon Musk and Alice Weidel of the AfD recently talked on X, the Everything app. Elon Musk keeps praise on AfD's Alice Weidel during live talk on X, the Everything app. That's nice. In a conversation that was at times wooden and at times almost flirtatious. That's great. That's great. He mispronounced the party leader's name as Weedle throughout the encounter. Whew. That's good. She's a lesbian and also the head of the Nazi party. Not contradictory. Literally, like, there is more diversity in the ranks of neo-Nazi grifters online than there are within, like, I don't know, Democrats in the House. They love pick-me's. They love them, they love them, they love them. It's the liberalism of modern-day Nazism, you know? Like, they still have to pretend that they're equal opportunity in their hate. Does it not link to the conversation? By the way, it's Weidel? I really don't think it is. It's a German name. And then you take the hard pronunciation of the second vowel, Weidel, or Weidel, perhaps. I don't know what the emphasis would be on. 2.4 million. Conversation with the leading candidate to run Germany. That's like a very 14-year-old way of phrasing that.
A nuclear power station.
Penis music.
You need a water source for to run the steam turbines, but really far more power output is possible than people realize. And I think that the sensible solution is renewables, but with a lot of nuclear. And
because they stick together, and no matter what they say, they're not able to implement, to enforce the promises they're doing in every election, especially the Angela Merkel party. Do you know that the chancellor candidate, so my running mate of the Christ Democratic Party, that it's wrongly labeled, for instance, by The Economist as a center-right party. So in my opinion,
this is boring. As a little appetizer, I'm not listening to the whole thing.
We talk about Hitler, on the idea of the National Socialists. Back then, during the Third Reich, the National Socialists, as the word says, they were socialists.
Yeah,
Adolf
very much so.
Yeah.
They nationalized industries like crazy.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. He was a communist.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Oh, she Nazi. Actually, I think if anything, this falls more into the grifter camp, right? Because a real Nazi would be infuriated to hear Hitler described as a communist. You know what I mean? Like it's back to the liberalism of modern Nazism, where everything's subservient to capital, where like it's like the same shit that happened with Meloni in Italy, right? Like you can be the most Hitlerite out there, but then you're like, well, actually, no, we're nothing like Hitler. And it's like, okay, you're lying, but you have to lie because you're still trying to build a coalition with people who don't know that they're Hitler. You know what I mean? The AfD is a fascist grifter party. They're not neo-Nazis. Many of them aren't neo-Nazis. Many of them are. But neo-Nazis are a core part of their constituency, you know? So you have to like thread this needle where if like 10% of your constituency is like outright neo-Nazis, you can't outrage them because they'll kill you. You know, they're insane. But you also don't want the 90% who are just concerned about Islamic immigration, quote unquote, whatever the you don't want them to think they're Nazis. Sorry. Apparently the file I uploaded didn't get uploaded to Dropbox. 1 second. No, I think it's a matter of hiding power levels. No, but that's what I mean. If you're hiding your power level, like think Who does hiding your power level hide it from? The stupidest people, right? Who are the stupidest people? AfD voters. If you have to hide it from your own constituency, it indicates, at least to some extent, an inability to reconcile with your positions. Do you think all Republican politicians are evil, or do you think any of them are just like the median voter? I mean, I don't think those things are necessarily mutually exclusive.